Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail, and it's Try Something New Tuesday. I'm trying another hidden journaling spot for my new journal today, and I got the idea from Chelle Radcliffe. I will link her video below. She did a lot of her experimenting on camera. I did it off camera, and now I'm going to show you how I ended up doing it. These two were the first ones I made. This one's in a journal, or on a page in a journal. And it's like a pocket, you can put a tag in here. But it's also, when you lift it up, you have these little channels that slide up, and you've got a place to write that's hidden underneath. Now, that was a little hard to get out. Easy to go in. If it was in a book, I think it would be easier. But this one, I tried it with two little girls sitting so I could have two channels. And the channel, it's sliding where these brads are. But that is one way. Then, and Chelle did a lot of hers with a single channel, so I did that. I have one brad holding this on here, and I put some other brads in with decorations so that it wouldn't jump out that you only had one brad. And in this case, if she pulls up, I kind of folded it this way. I tried that. And you've got a space to write. Okay. Now when you put it back down, all you have to do is make sure that that goes behind the pocket edge, and you've still got your pocket that you can put a journal card or a tag in. So I kind of like that one. I hid, I added some decoration on this one besides the scrapbook paper. Now the first one and this one are both made with scrapbook paper. It wasn't a real heavy scrapbook paper, so I doubled it. I cut, instead of 4 by 5, which is what this is, and that ends up to be, I did it 8 by 5 and folded it in half. So you can see that there is also cardstock on this side. I also, when I did my brads, I covered them on the back with these little stickers. I glued those over them so that as long as you don't get into here when you're trying to put in your tag, none of that hardware is going to keep your pocket, your tag or whatever, from going in. So it's just going to be a matter of getting it in there. They do move a little bit more with just the one, but I think if you have it in your journal like this and you have a tag and you pull it out, that nobody, you won't, unless you bump it, you're not going to know that had that. All right, then I tried another one. This one I used a postcard. It was a real postcard, and I put this guy on it, this Tim Holtz guy, and it was from a guy named Harold. He said, "I'm sorry for something, will you write? Very sincerely, Harold," that he's attending University in Madison. And it's made out to Mabel Glargay in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I did the same thing. I made one channel. I put 2 extra things on him to make it look like maybe he was attached in 3 spots. And I did the paper so you'd fold it out. And where I didn't have it to fold out, I doubled it and glued it down so it was a little more sturdy. Now, this one you have to, same thing. You can't have that higher than that. And it's on the postcard. So that was another one I tried. Now, I'm going to make this one. This is a postcard from France. I'm using the side. I will be putting a stamp on here and maybe a label or something. But I decided to use, I like the little guys who are sitting, if you've got something for them to sit on. And I'd like to put this guy sitting on this little thing here. And you can put this all the way down to the bottom. It's okay to do that. But you have to figure out where your middle is. And in this case, I measured, and the middle is, there's 2 rows of text on here. And the middle is right in the center of that. And this is to the right of, there's like a line right here. And it's to the right of that. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be putting that on, you know, there. And I'm going to glue him just to this, not to the card. So of course, then he couldn't slide. So that's going to be kind of like right there. He's going to be sitting on top of it. I want his head to be right in the center. So this is the center. His head's going to be right there. And now I can move him over just a little bit so that he's in the middle. And because I kind of measured, and his foot's going to be sticking off the back. But I'm going to glue him onto this. And I have already, I'm just going to glue the bottom part here. I have already distressed this little figure and this. So I am going to put him on so that his head is right above the center of this card. So that when I slide him up, he will slide up this way. And that'll be the center. Okay, so I'm going to let him dry for a minute, and I'm going to cut the slit. Now, some of them I cut wider than others, and it didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference as far as how much it slid sideways. Pardon me. But I'm going to try it. Now, I apologize for, I have some shadows in here. I'm filming this at night, and I don't usually like to do that, but this is the only time I could get to do it. So what I don't want to go higher than like about a 1/2 inch on each side. So if you need to, you know, give yourself like a line, say stop here or something like that. Because I am going to cut it with this, and I have a glass mat that I'm working on, and I'm going to do it just on the inside of the writing on both sides, starting about there. And I'm going to make sure that I am through the whole thing. Yes, I am. Okay, now I'm going to turn this over. I'm trying to make the channel thin, although it didn't seem to matter too much if it was a little bigger. So, you know, do what makes you feel comfortable. Now, I've got that little channel cut right here. I lift it up and I just cut the end with my scissor. If you got a nice sharp knife, now let's see, that could even be, and could end up being too skinny. We'll see. I thought I'd try it though. Now if I put one of these brads in here, let's see how it slides. It's a little too tight. And I have to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe. I'm just going to go in and take just a sliver more off. See how that works. I dropped it. It's in my lap probably, but or on the floor. I'll just get a different one. All right, so let's see how this one is. Yeah, that side's much better. So make sure that your brad will fit in there and slide in there. Now this is the side we're actually going to put it on. And I'm also going to try just putting a piece of paper. It can't be larger than, this is going to be glued in as the bottom of the pocket. And I don't want it sticking out the top. So I just cut a piece of paper. And it actually could be wider if I wanted it to be. This happened to be what I had on my desk. So I'm going to be putting that in like this. And that will be on the back. And this is in the middle, and this little guy will be on the front. So I want to make sure he's covering up that slot. Now, what I'm going to have to do is poke a hole through, and the middle is going to be like right in here. That is about where the end of the channel would be then. And we'll see. I'll poke a hole through him first. Be careful doing that. And then it'll be going through the channel. All right. And then it'll be going through the paper. So let me just mark this a little bit. Okay. It's about 9 centimeters, a little bit more. So about 4.5 is where I'm going to put this mark. We'll just kind of do this. Now, if I have that poke through there, I think I have to maybe put it a little bit lower. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I have it too far down, it goes into where the pocket, the pocket's going to be glued, and this will stick out above the top. So that's where I'm putting it. That's where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to take my brad, put it through the little guy here, put it through the slot, and then put it through the paper. Now, if your paper is going to rip and you're worried about that, you might want to double the paper on the bottom or reinforce it or something like that. And I hope I was on camera for that. I've got it through all 3 things now. And I'm going to open up the brad. And I'm going to make sure that it's in a good spot. So when it pulls up like this, I can take the paper and write around the little boy. And then pop it back down and hide it. Okay, now I have to cover this so that it's not in the way. And I've got these have writing on them, so I never use them where you're going to see it, but it works out fine for when you're not going to see it. And I'm putting a little glue on here because these are old. I got them at a thrift store and I don't know how old it is and how well it's going to hold. And then I'm just covering up the legs of the brad. That helps this from turning as much too, but it doesn't totally take it away. Because when it's glued on there, it's not gonna, twist quite as much. Well, both pieces might, but it won't just, the one won't. So that's how you do that slot, and that's how you put it on, and then you can decorate this any way you want. I'm going to get an old stamp out because this postcard is very old, and I'm going to put a thing on there, and I probably will put a couple of labels or things like that. And I didn't pull that out, so I'm not going to make you sit through that, but you can decorate them any way you want, and you've got that little hidden journaling spot. This was a more complicated one. I'm going to do a couple more of them that are, I can probably do 2 in this amount of time next time, and but it's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to having lots of hidden journal spaces in my new journal that I'm doing right now, which right now is still drying, and we will see it in my next video. So thanks for being with me today. I'm really glad you were here. I hope you try some of these. They're kind of fun, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye. Love you guys.